My name? Jolly Rapper, that's rapper with a W. I'm gonna be doing a spoken word poem. As a kid, I was into art, but I could never draw a perfect line. My hands were just too unsteady. Eventually, I got decent at drawing lines, gliding the pencil tip across the page ever so gently. I never knew what to draw, so I would always end up drawing lines. My hands just did what my mind was expressing. I figured out that every line I drew were just words I were suppressing. So I forced myself to stop drawing lines, but I couldn't help but question. Were the imperfect lines I refused to draw my only sense of acceptance, sense of protection, sense of direction, sense of a sensible sentence, my only sense of perfection? If I continued to fight this feeling of drawing lines, if I neglect it, would that only cause me to want to make more lines in any form or substance? From soft graphite to gloopy ink to dripping paint on canvas, from bleeding Sharpies to waxy crayons to grinding chalk in classes, from smudging charcoal to sculpting clay to stitching lines in fabrics, so many ways to create lines, I needed all the practice. Wait. You know what I just realized? Lines are everything. I know it might sound weird, but hear me out. Lines dictate our lives. How? Right now, you're all standing in lines, here to watch a young poet recite his lines. And I know some of y'all were using Google Maps to get here, which means you followed a line. Palm readers read the what on your hands? The lines. An officer checks to see if you're tipsy by having you walk in a straight line. That same police officer shot and killed an innocent, unarmed black kid who was walking home from school. When the detectives arrived, they traced his cold, lifeless, limp body in a line of chalk. Society is teaching black kids to become tightrope walkers. Because if you walk these streets, you're walking a fine line, and there's no safety net that'll break your fall. And that ain't a problem. Because the only way you'll fall is if they're caught slipping. They'll be grinning with pride. The trigger is lit in their eyes. They pull it, gripping it tight. You'll get hit from behind or hit from the side, and the officer will say something along the lines of, "These things happen in this line of duty." But don't give us that line. We put up so many lines between each other, putting society in a box. Let's take those same lines and use them as a way to connect the dots. We as human beings are approaching the end of our time. So where do we draw the line?